Good afternoon, everyone. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to give you my review for WWE Fastlane. An overall okay experience. I'll get into it, don't you worry. So sit back, relax, get yourself a beverage, and let's do this. You start off kind of in the pre-show. I didn't really watch it, but I saw what happened online as we saw the arrival to the arena of Jade Cargill, former TBS champion in AEW. She got intercepted by Triple H. They had a little chat and they walked off. And that was the last time we saw Jade Cargill on screen. So, not 100% sure what the plan is with her, but I guess we shall see. So, first matchup on the main card, we got the tag team titles on the line as Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso takes on the Judgment Day, being represented by Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Definitely hyping up Priest as the powerhouse for Judgment Day, which I guess it makes sense. He can also fly really well too. This match definitely felt like a war. Like these titles meant something to Cody and Jey, in which Jey I can see it, Cody maybe not so much, but we'll get there. While either Balor or Priest were down, out comes, of course, Dom Mysterio and Rhea, with Rhea kind of trying to flirt with Jey Uso, which, could they have a relationship brewing? We'll see. Cody actually gets put through the, Priest tries to chokeslam Cody Rhodes through the announce table. However, JD McDonough comes out, has Priest's briefcase, swings for Cody, and hits Priest right in the leg. So that takes him out. Crossroads on the table. So that just leaves Jimmy and Cody with Finn. So now, Cody gets back in the ring. A super kick for Finn Balor. A Cody cutter. And a kind of 3D, 1D-esque move from the two pair of them to pick up the win and win the tag team titles for Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Now, when I first saw that result, I was like, why? Why does this Franken team need these titles? In which, I've actually come to a realization there's more story to be told there. Now, obviously, you got the Judgment Day imploding. They're probably not going to allow McDonough to join up, which is fine. Maybe Rhea makes some roster cuts to Judgment Day, brings in her own people, which, that could be fun. Now, we got potentially two stories with Cody and Jey with the tag team titles. One, and it's an obvious one, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who fought the Usos tooth and nail at WrestleMania to win them. They only just lost them to Judgment Day at Payback. And now at least one of the Usos has those titles back. So now with Sami trying to play peacekeeper, maybe this pisses off Sami Zayn as much as Kevin Owens. The other story that could be told is now Cody has a free pass to SmackDown, because the tag team titles are dual branded, and of course that's where he wants to be, because that's where Roman is, and he wants to finish the story, which is great. Now with Jey, obviously he doesn't want to go because he wants to get away from the bloodline, but I think eventually, somewhere down the line, maybe at the Rumble, maybe at maybe at Elimination Chamber, we might see Jimmy and Solo take on Cody and Jay, which could be interesting, although there's something coming for that. Well, just watch. Anyway, we get a backstage conversation between Wade Barrett and Booker T. They're talking about the card. And then Xavier Woods interrupts, and it's an advertisement for Pizza Hut. In which, I get it. Pizza Hut's paying money for that spot. Fine, whatever. I thought that was actually going to be something significant other than an ad for some mid-pizza. Anyway, going back to the actual show, we get 6-man tag team action players as the LWO. That's Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. There's no Wild or Del Toro because they got taken out on SmackDown. And Rey has been trying to call someone to make a replacement. However, he hasn't contacted back. So, LWO are on their own for now against Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Lashley and Profits take out Santos Escobar pretty early, and they just start hammering on Rey Mysterio. Like this was a mugging. This was like Batista Rey Mysterio levels of mugging. And then, who's the third man? Of course it's Carlito, but he comes out to some generic music that reminds me of Rob Van Dam's TNA theme. It's just repetitive and it's odd. So Carlito gets the hot tag, runs through Lashley and the Profits, eventually gets the backstabber for the win for the LWO. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking. Lashley and the Profits maybe needed the win a little bit more. I'm okay with the LWO winning here, because I think it adds a bit more momentum for the LWO. And it creates some tension between Lashley and the Profits. Maybe to the point where the Profits finally change up their gimmick a little bit more. They're still coming out with the solo cups and stuff. So, it was an okay match. Surprise was obvious. But overall, I had fun with it. Next up, we got a triple threat match for the women's title as Io Sky defends against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. And while the segments with Sky and Asuka were great, where they just had the one-on-one going, whenever Charlotte would intervene, it would come crashing down a bit. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be the guy to hate on Charlotte. I do like what Charlotte does. This wasn't it. Like, there was something off all match between these three. Eventually, Io Sky gets knocked off the apron, falls what looked like really hard on the floor. Out comes Bayley, who Io asked to stay in the back, trying to help her back into the ring. Charlotte Flair eventually gets Asuka in the figure 8, in which from out of the top rope, with an over-the-moonsault by Io Sky for the pin and the victory, which means she is still women's champion. Like I said, this was a very middle-of-the-road match from three excellent athletes from WWE. Hopefully we get to see a little more from these women, because they're three of the absolute best in WWE. We then get our next big return as we get Pat McAfee making his WWE return. He gets on the microphone, pretty much glad hands Indianapolis for a bit, saying, Indianapolis, you want a WrestleMania? Pulling what John Cena pulled in the O2 in London for Money in the Bank. So, I kind of hope stuff like that continues for some other big pay-per-views. I think that would be funny. Then he introduces John Cena, which leads to our next matchup as John Cena and L.A. Knight take on the Bloodline, Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. John Cena got his butt kicked throughout most of this matchup. I'm glad he's putting over the young guys now. I was kind of hoping to see, a bit more classic Cena. I'm not saying he had to get the pinfall, but dang. This was Brock Lesnar levels of beatdown. Anyway, eventually, Cena gets the hot tag to LA Knight, which the crowd goes nuts for. He runs house for a bit. Cena hits the 5-knuckle shuffle. LA Knight hits the BFT to pick up the victory for his team. I'm glad LA Knight got the win. This was another kind of mid-match that could have... I think it could have easily been a SmackDown main event. I don't know where this would be on... Why this is on pay-per-view. You could easily had Ciampa and Gunther in this spot, but whatever. It is what it is. We then get Judgment Day backstage. Priest is looking to cash in his Money in the Bank contract, saying, "I'm not leaving tonight without a title." Rhea stops him. "You don't want to rush this. You've planned this for a while now. We can do this another night." So then Priest hands over his Money in the Bank case to Rhea, which leads to our main event of the evening, a last man standing match for the World Heavyweight title. Now, last man standing, no pinfalls, no submissions, weapons are legal, and the only goal is to incapacitate your opponent long enough so that they don't beat a count of 10 by the referee. Our combatants, the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. And although this does start out as a pretty one-sided beatdown by Nakamura, Seth Rollins, of course, fights up. He keeps beating the 10 count. About midway through, Seth sets up the announce table, sets up a ladder next to it, sets Nakamura on it, goes for, I'm going to assume he was going to go for a Phoenix Splash. Nakamura gets up from the table, climbs the ladder, and the poison mist right into Seth's face. Then Nakamura with a big kick around the ladder, which that's always impressive, to knock Seth down through the announce table. And honestly, these guys used every weapon imaginable: kendo sticks, trash cans, tables, chairs. They didn't use thumbtacks, which I'm okay with. Those are way overplayed. Eventually they go fighting into the crowd, where they go into this little area between the stage and the second row of the crowd, where there's a obvious table set there. So they go up to about the second row. Nakamura with a big kick to him. Seth falls through the table, which that's brutal. Eventually, he does get up. They fight back down to the ring. Eventually, they do fight to another area of, the side, kind of where the equipment is. And they go up on this, I don't even know what to call it. It's like a ledge, or it's some sort of platform where they both go up. Seth hits a pedigree and a stomp. Both men are down for a little bit, but they both get up eventually, beat the 10 count. Seth went then with a Falcon Arrow off of this platform through a table, and they're both down for a little bit. Seth obviously just beats the 10 count by the referee, which means you're a winner. And still World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, in which this match obviously saved the show for me. This was definitely the best match on the card, although it was with smoke and mirrors thanks to Seth's injury. So, I guess we're going to see what goes forward for Seth Rollins. Maybe we finally see Drew challenge for the title, which I'm definitely for. And, overall, that's it from me for Fastlane. I did enjoy it, but it was a very middle-of-the-road show. Don't get me wrong. Seth Rollins and Nakamura killed it. Tag team title match was entertaining. It all was entertaining, but it definitely felt like an unimportant B show that WWE usually does. But either way, I'm excited to see what goes on for the future. So, next time you'll see me, I will be giving you my predictions for MLW Slaughterhouse, which comes this Saturday. I'll probably do those predictions on Thursday. Friday will be my recap for Raw, NWA, AEW, and probably Impact Wrestling. Then the following Monday, I'll do my review for Slaughterhouse. And then Tuesday, I'll do the rest of the week. So that's MLW, Ring of Honor, SmackDown, and Rampage. And I do intend to cover those shows. Now, a little PSA for you AEW Dynamite fans. This week, AEW Dynamite will not be on Wednesdays. Not be on Wednesday this week due to the MLB playoffs. Instead, it's going to be on this Tuesday, going head-to-head with NXT, which that's going to be interesting to watch. So, I hope you guys stay tuned for that. And until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.